Assalamu alaikum, this is Ameen from Heist. In this episode, we discuss my new co-working space, my new office that I'm recording from right now, and the benefits of it that I've been enjoying. Also, we talk about the YouTube dawah scene and where it came from, how it started out. Muhammad was involved early on, as well as myself. So we kind of do a bit of a flashback, and we talk about how it's evolved over time. And then we talk about committee, jam'iyya, roskas, whatever you call it, which is a concept, a really cool concept of how to help people save money or loan money in a halal, non-interest way that benefits everyone. It's really cool, actually. Now, another very important thing that you need to know about is the front row. That is my Muslim men's community that is open for joining right now. There are only 10 spots available and 7 have been taken already. There's been a really great response and some really cool brothers joining so far. So if you're interested in joining, then check the link in the description to have a quick chat with me, see if you can join before those 10 spots fill up. Assalamu alaikum. Enjoy the episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Actually, bro, I've got a better thing to start with.
Okay.
Just because I'm in a different location. Can you see, by the way, the light shining on me? Is it flickering? Can you see flickering?
Oh, a little bit. I thought it was just your camera.
It's funny, isn't it? I think it's the, what do they call that? The refresh rate of the lights or something.
Oh, yes. The camera.
It's the 60 hertz versus the 50 hertz. I know about this stuff, bro. Anyway.
You're a gamer.
So I'm in my office, brother.
Oh. Is this where you like work?
This is where I work. This is where I do everything, you know, away from the kids. You know, if I want to read, for example, I got my Kindle here actually because I'm not getting any reading done at home.
Wow.
So,
look at you, alpha male.
Bro, I've
just
been
used
here.
one of my forbidden words there.
Alpha male. You blocked that word on Twitter. Now you're using it on your own podcast.
I've got a bunch of forbidden words. We'll go through it one day. But yeah,
so,
go on.
So yeah, we didn't discuss this, but it's been an insight for me. It's been something new having an office. So I got it's in a co-working space, but I got a private office in a co-working space that I share with a few friends, and it's just been revelational. Even though that's not a word, it's been revelational.
Revolutionary.
Yeah, so it's been really good, bro. And today I brought in. So yesterday I brought my monitor. And then today I brought the mics, and that's like the last piece. Although I don't have my ring light, that's why I don't look as crispy as usual. So now I can actually do podcasts here.
Bit of olive oil on the skin. Skin's looking clear. Beard's looking luscious. Allahumma barik. Sorry, audio listeners, you're missing out.
And I'm actually drinking a coffee from the coffee machine they have here.
You know what? I was thinking about this last week or a week before, and I envy you in a nice way. I do like the idea of co-working space, an office that isn't owned by your organisation that you work for.
Yeah, that's a bit long.
You're not being micromanaged and bumping.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
but also you've got space to work, and
rather than working at home.
Yeah, it's a space made for work, so it's a lot more. I don't know, you just feel more productive. Like I'm sure you feel very productive.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good to have like. Routine, like there's start and end, clear start and end, and all of that. It's like if I need to work, then I have to go to the office, so it's like a clear decision, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's been really good. And I'm also coming here for podcasts or webinar or whatever, which is okay because it's not far from home at all. So yeah, it's great, bro. This coffee machine is very fancy as well. Been playing with the settings, dialing it in. They bring us some stuff now and then. Like yesterday, brought load of chocolates. Sometimes they bring us biscuits.
Wow! How long have you been there? Make yourself at home. Wow.
3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've been doing the same, man. I've been going into the office almost every day. Got to go in
by choice
today. A combination. One of them is, yes, unfortunately, some of the work is really sensitive and high
clearance,
high importance, really. And like tomorrow, I've got back-to-back meetings and interviews all day. I'm interviewing people, from like 8 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the evening. I can't do that with the kids running around.
Yeah.
You don't want. Yeah, it's kind of unprofessional. So I need to
Would
get
they
up
even
early.
let that happen?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I've been in meetings before. Dogs are barking and kids are climbing on people. So, but no, it's just I can focus because it's it's just about that focus, isn't it? And lack of distraction when you've got a lot to do. But on other days where there's a bit more flexibility, then a bit more flexibility, I suppose. But
Yeah.
no, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of strong, positive, high impact work coming out of you now that you're in this office. You're going to be just
Inshallah.
productivity machine.
Inshallah, yeah. And actually, the key thing about this, like now it's 9:15 p.m. and it's open. It's 24/7. So
Oh, sweet.
that's key.
Yeah.
That's key. Because last week, bro, I was here till 3:30 a.m.
Right.
I was had a webinar, and we kind of follow UK timings in terms of what's convenient for people. So we finished at 3:30 or 3 a.m. or something. And yeah, it was a bit spooky, and no one here whatsoever.
Yeah.
But that's key, because otherwise I'll be doing that at home. I have a couple things, like 2 things quite regularly. I suppose actually 3 with Mind Heist that are in the evening. So, that's one thing. And then some days I'll come here directly after Fajr, like when is that? Maybe 7 a.m., as well. So it's important it's open. Because there's like 2-3 others in this area, but I think they open at like 9 if you're lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's good, bro. May Allah increase you in khair. It's obviously this is the anti-COVID pullback, isn't it? A lot of people are now. I know there was a lot of pressure from organisations and government and stuff to push people back into offices, but I am also seeing, like the other day, I went to the headquarters of our organisation. Usually, since COVID, it used to be restricted parking in the headquarters, and you couldn't park there unless you had a particular pass. And then during COVID, because everyone was working from home, they basically unrestricted it, so anyone could drive there and park there. So the past few years, I've been driving there, and always spaces. And then yesterday, or day before, it was yesterday, I can't remember. Yeah, yesterday I went there, not a single space. I had to drive in and drive back out. So it just showed, like, essentially, it was people are back. People are back. Most people are back
Actually,
in the offices and stuff.
What I heard is a lot of people initially, they're like, oh, I want to stay remote. I'm used to it. I like it. But then slowly, bit by bit, people started to kind of admit to themselves that I need a little bit. I need at least 2-3 days a week. I need that mixing with people. I need this and that. And even people talked about what you miss out on promotion wise, team chemistry wise, by not having anything in person.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I do think there needs to be a mix. I don't think it needs to be all, back in the office, because I think a lot of that time is also wasted.
Yeah.
And also the commute, like, it's just not good for the mental health of people, really.
Yeah.
Because even today, I know I don't live far from where I work, but just that, I don't know, because I'm not used to it. I'm sure people have way worse commutes. But just having to, like, get on the bus on a rush hour. I don't drive there because there's no parking there.
No.
I want to save money. So getting on the bus during rush hour, I'm like, oh no, I won't get this bus. It's packed. Let me wait for the second bus and place my bets on the second bus. That kind of thing. And it's starting to snow here. And anyway, first world problems.
It was snowing today, yeah, over there in some places.
It was in London. It was very cold here. There was a few cars in my neighbourhood that had snow on them, so I'm assuming they came from the fields.
Yeah, over here it was like sunny. It was like a spring day kind of feeling. Strange. Strange.
Global warming.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, mate. It's all...
It's not global warming. It's like... It's just a bit randomness, like unpredictability, let's say. Yeah.
It's the Anunnaki, bro. It's the shifting of the...
Anunnaki, pole. You know about that, yeah?
Those are the key words that get you their views and the hits, bro.
The key words that let people know that you're in the know.
Yeah. Only the yeah, exactly.
Real recognize real.
That's it. That's 2012 stuff, that.
Yeah.
2012 was such an odd year. 2012 is a year that really sticks out to me. I don't know about you. It's just
2012, a few things happened. It was the Olympics in the UK, right?
okay.
And there were
2012,
some
yeah.
conspiracies around that. And 2012, there was a movie made about 2012, like being the end of the world or
Being
something.
in the world. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, 2009 it came out. So there was already a build-up from
Yes.
2009 to the year 2012.
What else was there? I feel like there was a couple other things. But
There was
they all
also the
linked
year
to
like
this
I
stuff.
started university, I think.
Oh.
So there's always that kind of, the shift.
Oh, yeah, a big change in your life.
Yeah, and then there was like this apocalypse thing, wasn't it? So what was it? Mayan calendar or something?
Uh-huh.
And then there was some crazy
Mayan
stuff.
calendar, that was the big one. That was
It
the big
Mayan
one. I remember now.
It was
yeah.
the Mayan calendar. Literally, I think from my memory, it ended.
Yes,
in 2012.
exactly.
And then people just perceived that means they predicted it's the end of the world, but whatever.
Yeah, we need. What's that guy's name on Joe Rogan? Your boy.
My boy.
Yeah, your boy.
Oh, the Graham guy.
Yeah, Graham. Yes, you're like the Graham guy, bro. You know his middle name as well, probably. You probably got a signature of him on your.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
No, I watched a few of his stuff. I fell asleep at the documentary. No, I'm not. I'm sure there's fans out there of his work, and he sheds light on some things. I don't take everything. Maybe half of it has got value. The rest, I'm not really too sure.
I feel like there will be.
Do you remember? Oh, I'm gonna do this because I tweeted this not too long ago.
Okay.
Let me share this. Do you remember this? Hysteria. I'll show you a bunch of images now.
Coney, that was 2012 as well.
Of course it was. It was part of the slogan. Coney
If you
2012.
know, you know. Yeah.
Come on.
You see, these things we never get follow-ups from these kind of stories, do we?
Oh, we got a follow-up about the guy behind Coney 2012. It might be too explicit, but we'll click this and maybe the headline will be enough. The guy behind Coney 2012 video finally explains how things got so weird. Oh no, it's too much. It's too much. We're not going to do that. It looks like I'm using an ad blocker. Well, of course I am. Coney 2012 was...
What was it, for those who don't know?
Invisible children. Can you see this? Yeah, you can.
100 million views on YouTube.
It was like some viral kind of... campaign, I guess. Look, they've even got the unification here of Republicans and Democrats to try and look, my thing was, how can I best explain it? I need to explain it in a way. So essentially, my perspective is that they picked some random villain from somewhere in Africa, and when I say they, I'm talking about some sort of weird activist group that came out of nowhere called Invisible Children. They picked this guy. Honestly, it feels like to me they picked some guy out of the hat and then out of nowhere pumped so much money and marketing into raising awareness about this thing, about this incident. And I think it was essentially he had child soldiers and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So he's a bit of a villain, and they were just going after him with his marketing campaign. Like, we need to stop this, everybody unite, and look at the stats and the tweets and this is 2012, so this is 10 years ago, and I can't believe I'm saying this is 10 years ago because there's going to be people that are 11-year-olds that haven't got a clue, or do you know what I mean, or 15-year-olds that haven't got a clue because they were too young, or even to be honest, 20-year-olds, they would have been 10 years old, they wouldn't have known, they wouldn't have cared.
Probably, yeah.
Can you imagine? There's 20-year-olds that wouldn't have a clue. This was massive at the time.
It was.
I just remember every YouTube advert, every Twitter ad, everything. Look, it's even like someone needs to make a documentary revisiting this because it was insane. To the point now, just whenever I hear Cody 2012, it just takes me right back to this time. And I don't even think they got the guy in the end, to be honest.
Oh, was it Uganda? It wasn't Congo.
Yeah,
I guess Congo's on the border with Uganda. And these groups tend to go between borders, the kind of thing. But basically, it was a charity viral campaign about this bad guy in it and how we have to stop him and help the children and stuff. And they were raising money, I'm guessing, right?
Bro, it was a psyop, like 100%. There was something going on. Maybe it was like a giant sort of, I don't know, money laundering thing because it just made no sense. It just came out of nowhere with so much to me it felt like we were about to go to war.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I thought the West was going to war, like in the same way that they went on the war in Iraq, like that
yeah,
level of publicity.
yeah.
But yeah, it was for those that don't know, Coney 2012, get to know.
Why is there two of me?
It's the yin yang, bro. It's you and I and three. That's the 2012 update.
Yeah,
We're a bit late to that.
it would be good. It would be good to see. Trying to add you to. It would be good to see what happened in the end. How much money was raised? What they did with it? And
I heard that the guy who was behind it all had a mental breakdown in the street and like started running around naked in California.
Well, that is a red flag as well, because he might be like he's like the puppet behind the real actors here.
There you go. Oh yeah, there's a video about it. I'm not going to click the video. It's all blurred out, but yeah, naked meltdown.
Oh really?
Jason Austin was the guy. Yeah. Why did the guy behind Top Coney go on a naked meltdown? Blah 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 blah. I can't get the rest of it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hollywood.
This shows you though, because you can imagine that a good viral campaign would have that effect, right? It would kind of go everywhere. I don't know if that level, but it would go everywhere. But it just shows you how easy people are to manipulate, including myself, like including everyone. Like there are just certain boxes you have to tick off with a campaign for it to like just take off.
Well, I think there wasn't as much widespread pessimism or not pessimism, but suspicion maybe back then. So like 2012, I think that's when social media was really, really like this
roaring.
It
was I guess it was a bit of the golden years, because YouTube, for example, only existed from 2006. So it's just 6 years in. So it's like it's got good, but it's not got all that bad stuff. So people like believe a lot of what
peak,
they
I mean, even I was doing YouTube videos back then. I'm sure you were as well.
How's the peak of like the internet? Yeah, only 6 years in, and it's like all going downhill from there. Oh, that's not good.
No, of course. No, but for real, yeah, like you were doing videos then, I'm sure, 2012.
Yeah, probably.
I started then, because I started really like getting involved in that kind of stuff at university. So that must have been 2012, that kind of transition. And yeah, there was... You saw something, you believed it, you carried on. Yeah, there was fringe groups of like conspiracy theorists and stuff. You know, we had the Illuminati, we had the Arrivals, and we had the Light series and all these other things that were like...
Well, 2012 was also Daesh prime time and Arab Spring prime time for using social media. Yeah. Using the internet for different things.
But there was also a lot of propaganda from that kind of group and those kind of affiliates. Going around and at the time probably unquestioned, because it hadn't really been refuted as far as I can remember early on. It hadn't been refuted widely as they were later on. So
bro, do you remember this campaign called Save Maryam?
Sounds familiar. Give us a lowdown.
It's like the Muslim version of Coney, bro, even though it was from a legit charity, but it's kind of disappeared after, you know. So basically again, they made this video, a big trailer kind of promotional video for this campaign, which was to save Maryam. And Maryam is the, the archetype or whatever of a Muslimah in Indonesia who is being indoctrinated by or propaganda or brainwashed by Christian missionaries.
Oh yeah, here it is.
And it's every day in Indonesia, this many people leave Islam and become Christians or something like that. And they're like, yeah, look, the Bible, they translate the Bible into Bahasa or whatever language they speak in Indonesia. And they use the words that will get Muslims. Like they use the word Isa instead of Jesus, and they do this and that. Right. And it's like, we've got to save Maryam and we've got to educate the Muslims and this and that. It was by the charity which is called... damn, man. You know Sheikh Tawfiq Chowdhury, his charity.
It is around that same year, bro. 2013, 2012.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Maybe they were inspired by it, actually, by
I was
Conan.
going to say, yeah, there was a lot. There's a lot of sport. You know, there was another one that I think was actually, I could be wrong, but I think it was a Shia campaign, and it was Who is Hussein?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Remember that
yeah.
one?
I don't know if that
It was,
went as big, but
I think it was quite big in the UK. I remember billboards and all sorts of things. Yeah, that was 2012 as well. Founded in 2012. What's going on?
okay. The
2012 was the
charity for
way.
Save Maryam was a Mercy Mission. That's it.
Okay, I know
So
this.
they're like a legit charity, Annie.
Notice how they all use red themes.
Yeah, it grabs
Who's
your eye,
Hussein
innit?
one
Like no
use
other
red
color.
as well. It's this. I think Coney 2012 started something, and then
Look,
I
this
don't
is
know.
what they said for Save Maryam, yeah? 2 million people are walking away from Islam every year. Detachment and delusionment has left them feeling that Islam is out of touch with the lives of the contemporary Indonesian. Furthermore, a well-resourced and seemingly empowering faith is reaching out to them. Christianity. The word of Christ today is one that talks of love and acceptance, and one that absorbs the insecurity of the Muslim youth of Indonesia of today. Our youth seek answers, and these answers have not been available from the Islamic establishment until now. And this Just Giving page, they've raised on it, okay, the target was 1.3 million, and they
So
only raised 57,000 on this page anyway.
what does that money go like practically? How do you save Maryam with
I
money?
guess it's education, dawah, campaigns.
You know what? My answer to all of this, or at least for that specific one, is that yeah, 2012. Where was the online dawah scene? There was shuyukh, there was da'is, there was the early, maybe from my perspective at least, in terms of video format streaming, and I'm not talking about old school DVDs and cassette tapes and stuff. They had their own giants, I'm sure. When it came to like YouTube and stuff, yeah. Well, there was a Muslim youth movement. There was a few other stuff. There was one. I'm only saying that, personal plug there. Not that I started that thing, of course not. That was, I think, Ibrahim Bansor and Musa Adnan and those kind of brothers. Ayira as well was about on YouTube. Ameen Outspoken was doing videos. There was a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
other things. But you know what? It wasn't as contentious back then. It wasn't as I don't know, it just didn't evolve as much. And I think a lot of the things that were being discussed by those early creators were very. This leads us into our topic, actually, what we
Okay.
were talking about earlier. But a lot of the things, a lot of the content out
Let me
there.
just highlight, I just want, before I forget, there's this page, yeah, interesting. Maybe you've come across it, Towards Eternity.
Yes, I've seen those guys.
So you know where these guys are based?
Oh, now that you mention it. Yeah, go on. I don't know.
They're based in Turkey.
Oh,
Okay. And even when they interview people, it's all in English, but you could tell they have an accent, Yanni. They're not native speakers.
that's what I thought, yeah.
And they've just blown up, bro. Like, they're at like 900 something K subscribers. Let me see the numbers here.
What struck me by my brief look at their page and content
Yeah.
is that I could be wrong about this,
Yeah.
but they're not in your face about Islam. I think anyone coming across their page wouldn't know immediately. I could be wrong, but remember that was the kind of impression I got when I first came across them. I was like, "Is this a Muslim account? Is this a Muslim?"
Yes, I think I got
page?
the same. However, when you go on their page, they've got 951,000 subscribers. When you go on their page, it says about Islam, education, eternity. So they do say
yeah,
Islam.
yeah.
And then it's like, you're right though, bro, because when you look at the video titles,
Yeah.
actually, no, it is actually quite Islamic. So, for
I think it
example,
might be just
Day
stuff
of
that went
Judgment in
viral.
AI. We asked AI
Yeah.
to draw Islamic moments. I made a deal with God. So they used the word God there instead of Allah. Famous YouTubers revert story to Islam. So yeah, actually it is quite, but maybe when they started off. But I just wanted to highlight them because it's interesting. They're in Turkey and they're Turkish, I think, but they're doing videos like all in English, and they're new. I think in less than a year they've got to like 1 million subs now.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me see. They do have quite a lot of videos from a year ago. It's saying a year, 1 year ago, 2 years ago. So they were actually maybe just when I discovered them was a year ago. But their model was inviting these well-known people, I suppose.
I think it's also I almost feel like the aesthetic and the way the videos are filmed are borrowed from another sort of media, and I think that's what's triggering this kind of is this another page or is it not a Muslim page? Because there was some like thumbnails I was seeing like
it's too professional to be Muslim, bro.
I don't know, but there was one like the one that went really viral that I saw because I'm organizing it by popularity. I think the one I saw first was an Ali Dawah one, which was, I haven't clicked it, but I've seen the thumbnail. Tough questions, or Ali Dawah answered the toughest atheism questions, and to me, when I must have seen that thumbnail, I thought, oh, this is an atheist page, and they're interviewing Ali Dawah, putting him on the spot or something like that.
Okay.
Because they've framed it in a bit of a maybe in an antagonistic kind of light. But there's other efforts like that. I mean, I was listening to. Have you ever heard the Hot Seat podcast? Or the Hot Seat show. Yeah,
of course.
Said Abdurrahman Hassan. I remember when that came out, but I never really sat and listened to it. While I've been in the gym, I've been trying to find more things to listen to, and I've had that in the background. And
they're not doing it anymore, I don't think, but they have a lot of episodes.
There's a lot to go back to. So I've been going back to some stuff, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, he's really grilling him.
Yeah, it's well done, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. It kind of, I don't know, just not entertaining, but it's really educational for me. And obviously, I try and make mental notes and written notes for things I want to go back and read and study and stuff if I get the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going back to 2012 in that regard.
Yeah.
There wasn't much, at least from my perspective, and you can correct me if your view is different. There wasn't much in terms of. I think days were very much. Most of them were in their lane. You know, I remember vividly thinking of when we were doing Muslim Youth Movement. Okay, I'll speak about not going to clubs because all my friends were going to clubs. I'll speak about praying your prayers because I'm trying to stop praying my prayers and all that. Speak about the things I know, you know, staying away from particular sins, blah blah blah. And then I think that content, that kind of material, quickly dried up, and people evolved and moved on to more complex issues, things outside of their lane, etc., etc. And I certainly pulled up from that point. And I was like, okay, this is beyond my scope of knowledge. Let me get out of here. But then others, you know, as we go, you know, 10 years later, what does the Muslim content creation scene look like? And I was mentioning to you before the podcast started recording how a lot of people are getting heat on Twitter now, and I don't think it's because of not on Twitter, but Twitter is bubbling. It's the mouthpiece of the world. I don't want to say it's just Islamic content. I think it's all content. The democratization of people's voices and putting microphones and the accessibility to just get on a microphone and say anything you want has made people's hot takes go viral, which are not always the most balanced takes there are. There was one that went viral recently, and I don't want to bring it up. I tell you why I don't want to bring it up, because people are bringing it up for clout, and the guy's already come out and said, oh, you know, I've learned from it and I don't want to talk about it anymore, so I'm going to let that one slide. But there's been plenty that have come out. You know, people say some ridiculous things, but it got me thinking, like, damn, we've been doing this podcast for so long. I'd like to think we haven't caused a stir, but it kind of
a little bit, just a few times,
but nothing. I don't think anything. It was you, actually. It was always you. It's always been you. I don't think I've ever done anything.
I'm proud of that.
Good. Get cancelled. I will remain. I'll remain. I'll take over Mind Heist. It would just be. No. I always think that our names are acronyms, but it's not. Anyway, don't worry about that. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it? Because, yeah, anyone can grab a microphone, and I'm sure you've seen and then also anyone can say something inflammatory and get viral from it, and then feed off of that and continue saying inflammatory things. What do you think, man? Where are we?
There's been waves in it of content creation, and it's interesting. So like 2012, I suppose, was that like I'm trying to think, you know, Imran, when he started making videos on his own channel, was that that was before 2012, definitely. It was 2008, yani, probably.
Yeah.
2009, like, yeah, it was before that for sure. Yeah. So it was basically 2008, 9, let's say, things were really trickling along. By 2012, there were some established people and established audiences.
So Muslim Youth Movement, just for context, it says here joined August 23rd, 2012. So that also falls in the 2012 bracket. It was actually founded by Musa, it says here. So Musa Adnan founded it, and then he must have brought a lot of people along. It's still up there. And that channel, funnily enough, is here. It is right here. Is where Ali Dawah debuted. He debuted, and actually, there's still a video of me there 9 years ago. Oh my god, I thought I got rid of all of them.
Could have been you, bro.
No, I didn't want it to be. But I managed to get a lot of I got all my videos removed, bar this one. This one is still here. There's an issue with like the passwords, and someone owns it, and we don't know who. We kind of lost access. We gave access to someone else, or I heard someone else got access, and then we lost who's got that. So the videos are still stuck here. Musa looks about 16.
Well, that's because he is.
That's what he was. He was, wasn't he? Yeah,
yeah, he was at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've literally, so this must be Ali's first video, or one of his first. The reality.
Are you sharing your screen? Because I can't see it.
Oh, I'm not. No, sorry,
Okay.
I'm speaking to myself. I could bring it up though. Let me bring it up, just for context of what the kind of topics people were talking about back then. Maybe.
Okay.
Are we up?
Dress code overload.
Yeah, we've got Zina. So Imran was doing the Zina series.
Your favorite. Everyone's favorite.
10 years ago. Musa, mashallah.
Oh, he looks very different. Yeah.
He's going to hate me for doing this. But to be honest, it's up there, and you got to sort it out if you don't want it up here anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
this is going to be really new for some people. No one's going to know this. Do you know what I mean? 10 years is a long time.
Yeah, especially in this area.
Absolutely. But Yusha Evans, I remember when Yusha Evans came on board and did a video. So it's around here that I kind of joined in, although you obviously can't see the videos.
You know what's interesting, bro, as well, is like all these people, right? They're all like doing their thing now. Like they've obviously moved, changed, Yanni. So Yusha Evans is still doing his thing in a certain way, like a different way than that at this point. Musa kind of took a step back. Imran, obviously, he's been through so many different phases. And then we've got you, and interesting.
Yeah, oh, there's one. There's still one remaining.
Yes, there you go, bro.
It was. Look, Hamza Tortis was here as well.
Yeah. There he is, next to you, bro.
Yeah,
next to you. Yeah, Hamza Tortis has been through his journey, and it's interesting.
Then you got Ali Dawah. This is where Ali Dawah comes in 9 years ago.
Oh, he didn't look too different even, bro. MashaAllah. And there on the left, is that Dawood on the far left?
Here, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Dawood's there. Okay.
Yeah.
Dawood's also doing his thing. Are you aware of his movements these days?
Yeah. I do follow him. I still.
Yeah.
I bumped into him recently, actually, not too long ago. He was in my city out of the blue. I bumped into him. I was like, oh my god, surprised to see you here.
Yeah,
that was good. But yeah, and then it kind of ended. It kind of ended maybe 6 years ago, or longer than that, really, 8 years ago. There might be some more hidden videos and stuff.
So this was like pretty much the beginning of people feeling like they can make videos and let me get this done again.
It's all right.
Surely I should know how to do this from now.
Well, a lot of the brothers spawned their own channels from here as well. They might have had it before here and also after, and then it kind of just. I mean, I got my fair taste of what the issues are back then with that kind of content and what it spawns, and that was quite mild.
What does it spawn? What would you say?
So it spawns. I'm sure we spoke about this. Probably one of the first things we spoke about on Heist back in the early episodes, but. Now that content has changed so much, it might be worth revisiting. It spawns a fan base, definitely. It spawns a lot of attention, especially like cumulatively, we got 974,000 views, all the videos added together, right? We would average about now it looks from 10 to 70k views between videos, which at the time,
That's a
it's still
lot
quite
back
substantial.
then.
Yeah. And that was almost light work at the time. I didn't really. God, I can't believe I'm actually going to click this one of me. I really don't want it to exist anymore. Oh my God.
Can you report it to YouTube for like hate speech or something?
I just wanted to see the comments. Oh yeah, so yeah, essentially it's attention that at that age definitely not ready for, and also probably not qualified for, not qualified for that kind of attention.
Yeah, but also
so
it was so new that no one knew what that even means. Like, I'm too young to do this, or not qualified, or no one knew what they.
It was unprecedented. Yeah,
unprecedented completely.
Yeah, 100%, because he didn't have that kind of access before.
So you have that beginning phase, then you have, I feel like it's like quite a while, like 5 years of just people growing their own channels, doing their own videos. I don't remember there being too much controversy, but in that period, like maybe apart from Imran here and there, but it was mostly like just people doing their own thing, kind of in their own lane. Then I feel like there was a period of collaborations and becoming more professional in terms of, okay, this is what we do for click-through rate, and this is what we do for this, and more optimization, yani, for the views and the algorithm. But then I think and people really got established. Certain people got established in the space in that way, and it started to translate then in this like third phase into being invited to speak at events, right, in real life. Right? It's like, okay, now we're giving actual respect to these people who had just been making videos online.
One thing that you will notice, and I don't know if you've noticed this when we flick through, not a single one of those videos, as far as I can tell, none of them is a reaction video. Have you noticed? So I don't even think that was a thing that existed back then. There's I couldn't remember even the thought of saying, why don't we, look at this viral thing that's gone on, let's react to it, let's record that and react to it. A lot of it could have been the accessibility of doing so. It wasn't straightforward to do that.
But it's also that phase, maybe phase 3 or something that I was talking about, where people start thinking, okay, what's going to get views, rather than what needs to be said versus what gets views.
100%.
And so then people start to optimize more. Like you were saying, your thought process back then was just like, okay, what needs to be said?
100%.
Which is a bit different from today, isn't it?
I remember vividly. I think it was I'm sure it was Imran at the time, because he was kind of like he was older than us, and he was kind of like what we considered more knowledgeable than us in some matters. So if I had a question about something, I was quite newly practicing, let's be honest. So I would ask him. But I remember literally one day asking him, Imran, like, I'm out of steam. Like, I don't know what else. I did maybe 7-8 videos in total from the top of my head, and I was like, okay, that's it. I don't know what else to talk about now. That's it. Like, I've got nothing else in my arsenal, because these are experiences I went through. These are the things I don't want people to do, like the mistakes I made or mistakes I'm aware of. And then I remember someone suggesting, why don't you talk about hijab? And I was like, well, I know about hijab. Nobody wore it. Like, I don't know. Like, why would I do that? Well, and obviously doing that now is like a prime sort of thing for cancellation, right?
But I do it.
Hijab with you're going to come at it with ilm, but when you come in at, I don't know, 18-year-old or however old I was at the time, 19-year-old, who doesn't know much, it's detrimental, it's dangerous. So I am glad, I kind of stepped back when I did. Did I step back fully out of my own accord? I don't think so. I think there was a mix of things that had happened, but part of it was there was an active sort of step back, because I could have made my own channel and carried on like a lot of the brothers did. But I didn't really go down that route. But now,
so then, like, out of those, you've basically got Ali and Imran who are like fully at it.
But Musa is the one. Not that not respect the others as much, but Musa's growth is who I respected the most, because I met him when I was 16. When he was, sorry, I met him when he was 16. During those times, you can see how young he was there, and I've seen that growth and development. And I remember Musa really taking time out of the online sphere to go and gain knowledge and proper, study. He studied a lot with Ustad Jamal Abdel Nasser, and the mannerisms. I don't know if you've ever met Sheikh Jamal. Have you met him before in person?
No, I don't think so.
If you were to meet him in person, may Allah bless him, there's an aura about him. He enters the room and everybody, it's just hush. Like there's something, like the way you see him on videos is exactly how he is in person. If not, he's more in person. There's this gentleness and this calmness that he brings to the room, right? It's quite phenomenal. And he makes you feel really, he's got this characteristic. I don't know if I'm overly praising him in front of, he might not see this, but he's got this characteristic where he will make you feel like you're the most important person in the room, even though he's only just met you. And he definitely made me feel like way whenever I see him. To the extent, when my father passed away, even though I see him like maybe once every 4, 5, 6 months, something minimal. When my father passed away, he came all the way down to my city, prayed the janazah with us, and then as soon as the janazah was done, he said salam and left, went all the way back to London. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, what are you doing here? Jokes. I wasn't expecting that at all. I wasn't expecting that. So, but I can tell that those characteristics have rubbed up on Musa, and that shows you one thing as well. We've had Musa on the show. We had Musa on Mindhouse before, and that focus and love that he developed for the Quran, absolutely phenomenal. And I think that's what's changed him the most as well. So there is growth. There is growth that you can see. I mean, you can go in an unprecedented way and see the growth of an individual in this field from 10 years. I don't even know. Is your stuff still on here, Ameen? Why don't you talk about your journey a little bit while I hunt for Ameen?
I guess the beginning videos that I made I guess they were quite da'wah focused, weren't they? Yeah.
And you are 10 years ago as well. Oh, gotcha.
But I've made a lot of them private.
Yeah, but there's some here that weren't. There's one here that wasn't uploaded by you.
Ah, really?
And it goes by your old stage name.
Oh, really? Maybe I need to sort that out.
You're giving a lecture.
A lecture?
Yeah, you're giving a lecture at University Hall.
Wow.
I'm going to play it. Yeah, you are. It's definitely you. And it's
okay. That's an ISOC thing.
Possibly, yeah. It's,
okay, that's like a poetry thing. That's not a lecture.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I've just searched it.
No, do not play it.
I'm not gonna play
okay.
it now.
Yeah. Well, that was later on, actually. That was later on.
Well, it was uploaded in 2012, funnily enough.
Yeah, so I must have started 2010 or something.
Dude, I'm telling you, 2012 is a year. Let me go and see what else there is.
I was in London, actually, in 2012.
Oh, there's some other poetry stuff. Come on.
Which actually, don't say it here.
I'm not going to say anything you don't want me to. Maybe afterwards we can have a look. There's another one here that's actually on your channel, though.
Yeah. Okay. So, I started with da'wah stuff, and then I went to like more personal development stuff, and then I took a long break. Yeah. I remember when I was doing the personal development stuff. Wow, I remember this. It was probably 2014.
Yeah.
I was making a video. I put out a video every week for like at least for 18 months. Yeah. I was like just on it. Yeah. And I remember watching Gary V. And do you remember Gary V in the early days?
No.
Okay. Because I found Gary V when he had like probably 20 to 50,000 subscribers. Okay, when he was like a kid in the game. Okay, and he used to have this thing called the Ask Gary V show, when people would ask him questions and he would answer them in his fancy office. It was sick. So I thought, let me do that format. It was quite easy, and he just answer a few questions, chop it up, and each question is like a video and this and that. So I did that basically. I did a few other things as well, but that was mostly what I was doing. I was very consistent. But it was just stuff I'm into, It's like personal development, geeky stuff that I was just into, and I didn't really put much thought or bother into making it appeal to anyone other than me. It was just kind of like, because I didn't have an agenda with it. It's like, okay, the few people that benefit, they benefit, but yeah, it wasn't about I'm going to make a business out of this, or I'm going to like change the world or anything per se. But then I just thought, I think I started business or something, and I was like, I need to focus. So I just stopped. It was like an active decision. So then I must have gone like 4 years or something with no posting at all. Maybe more than that. And then I only came back recently. This last year, 2022, I guess. Yeah. And now I'm more on that vibe of like, okay, what do other people want? Like some videos I make now, I don't even want to make that video, but I make it for other people, you know?
So you've just been manipulated by your fan base.
No, it's because you're serving people, aren't you?
Oh, okay. So how can I help people is a better way to phrase it. What are people in need of?
Yeah, exactly.
What people need is better than what they want.
What they need is better than what they want. Yeah. Well, I try and do both, obviously. Try and do both. But I need to up the levels on that, actually. That I need to work out how I can film in this office, and then I'll be like banging them out, inshallah.
Get some whiteboards up in the back, I think. Get some whiteboards, brainstorm.
Yeah. So, yeah, like if you look at, but that's the thing, bro. Think of those three people, Imran and Ali and Musa. Like, Musa's like the smallest in terms of followership, but that stepping away is like really good for him. You can imagine like Ali has not once stepped away in more than 10 years or 10 years, let's say.
I don't think he has.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying most likely someone starting that young, and I know he's older than like Musa and stuff, but going 10 years and starting from so young and not stopping once, there's probably going to be benefit from stopping, innit?
Yeah, you know what? Funnily enough, that thought crossed my mind this morning or yesterday night. I can't remember. Yeah, I was just looking at some of the stuff that's going around on the internet. It goes back to what we were saying, and it's not necessarily him, but it could be, you know, him giving a microphone to someone, right? Him putting somebody on the platform and that kind of thing. And I think what can happen is we all have good intentions and stuff. I think you get blinded. You can't see the forest for the trees, so to speak. You're always doing, you know, going from one project to another, one project to another, one project to another. That maybe, and it's just an assumption, obviously I could be wrong, you're focused on the projects and not enough on your own self-development, because that takes up a lot of your time, especially when you get older and you've got a family, you've got responsibilities, you've got work, you've got all sorts. Where do you fit in self-development as well as producing the next piece of hit content or whatever it is? I've, you know, even like, so I've spoke about the coding stuff that I'm trying to do. I've got some pre-reading material and pre-course material, you know,
pre-reading.
Yeah, the course, the boot camp starts, so it's the 8th now, so it starts on the 15th, inshallah. Okay. So I'm trying to like prep myself
1 week.
Stuff. Yeah.
Well, is it like you're gonna go away, you're gonna like sleep in a sleeping bag and
no.
Is it like a real camp?
2 times a week, inshallah.
Okay. For how long?
For 13 weeks, I believe.
Oh, okay.
The brother that was running it in collaboration with other brothers, definitely want to get him on after the boot camp. I think that'd be great. Don't want to do it beforehand, but afterwards, yeah, it'd be really good to just, because similarly to you in that regard, he's very, I mean, I follow him on Twitter, so I'm seeing his mindset from there. But you know, it comes across as a high achiever and really passionate about supporting Muslims to break free from the shackles of whatever kind of oppressive system they're trapped under in terms of employability, but also trying to get people maybe a bit more nomadic, those who want to be nomadic at least. You know, I remember he famously shares a thread where he was talking about how he was working from Morocco for 3 months, for example. Things like that, very appealing to me, obviously, as you can imagine. But yeah, so I can't remember what the point I was trying to say with that was. What was the point I was trying to say? Went from having a break, and then I started talking about that. Oh yeah. So I was saying I can't find time. Essentially, is what I was trying to say. I'm really struggling from day job to then
Yeah.
give my family their rights. So my kids, as soon as I walk in, oh, daddy, you haven't played with us. You haven't played with us. You haven't played with us. Oh, no, no, no. I need to do. I will for a little bit, and then I need to eat or whatever. Then I need to do some level of these pre-reads and the stuff that I'm trying to work my way through.
Yeah.
And then also, oh, but I'm paying for this gym membership that I need to go to. So I need to go to that. But I also can't go too late, because if I go too late, then I'm going to struggle getting up in the morning for Fajr and all sorts. So it's like, oh, yeah. So where do you fit self-development and content creation in a busy lifestyle?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, those people that, there are some people that you don't see them give a lecture or give a lesson until they're like 35. And that's because they've been spending all that time like learning. But then when they do step out to help people, it's like they're not really going to make a big mistake. They're not, you know what I mean? So that's because they had a phase of their life where they're like, yeah, I'm not contributing to the community now at all. I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm just learning now. So it's like phases,
Yeah, and I think it's easy to fall into a trap of thinking that all exposure is good exposure. Like, just because you've made a viral piece of content or you've got 1 million views or whatever it is, doesn't mean your da'wah has reached 1 million people. It could mean that actually what's reached 1 million people is that one segment that was really inflammatory and that's triggered people. And maybe the message hasn't, or the message behind your intention, or the intention behind your message hasn't been reached, as you kind of hoped it would. Because what ends up happening these days is like, you've released a hit video, but what's gone viral is the 20-second clip. And that's what people are reacting to.
Well, this is the thing, bro, is the fourth phase. If I was talking about the phases of the dawah, the fourth phase now is the TikTok phase, which is all about shorts. And it's all about, actually, I think this is the biggest explosion of people making content, if you like ever. Like now you get, I told you, bro, when I had that Instagram rant, I told you, bro, you got all sorts going on. You got even the most basic superficial stuff, like one, and these videos do really well, like 5 things that are haram in Islam. And it's just like some stupid B-roll with 1 this, 2 this, yeah?
Yeah.
The point is, a lot of people are making stuff. Some are showing their face, some are not even showing their face, and they're just getting into like editing and stuff. And it's actually an explosion, because it's not as intimidating as like what you were doing back in the day, like talking to camera with authority, right? It's more just like, oh, here's B-roll of me walking in the park, and then I put like a voiceover, either of myself or someone else's voiceover. Like that's the content now, and it's only 30 seconds. It's not even,
That's Hollywood there. That's lifestyle Hollywood content.
Yeah, it's more, it's a lot more lifestyle, you could say, showing lifestyle, if you like, or entertainment than education, isn't it? That's a lot of what it is now.
I call it main character syndrome, bro. I call it like,
well that's
thinks they're in a movie.
That's the main thing that I see. That's the main pattern that I notice, is it's like it's vanity. It seems to be vanity, I don't know. But the thing is, sometimes you can't even blame, you can't say, look, all your videos are just like your face and then you put a quote on it, right? And you must be vain. Like, I'm sure a lot of them are vain that are doing that, but also it could just be copycat thing. It's like, oh, that's what they seem to do, so that's what you do. So okay, now I'll put my face.
Yeah, that's it.
Well.
So I think it's more
there's
of
that as well, right? But the point is, it's a lot of entertainment stuff with maybe sometimes an Islamic quote or an ayah on top of it to make it, I don't know, maybe people are proud of their religion, that's part of it. Part of it is like, okay, my niche is Muslim, so that's why I do that stuff. Different stuff, Yani.
A lot of it, you find accounts behind that are also marketing a particular thing that they do. What very popular one is personal trainers. Okay, you'll find Muslim personal trainers or Muslim, health experts, whatever. They will thrive on that kind of day in the live content. Because there's only so much posing in front of a camera that you can do. Now you actually, let me show you what a day in the life might look like. Although
Day
anyone
in
who's
the
edited
life.
videos knows how much work that is, because you've got to set that. Well,
Yeah.
nowadays, actually, with the democratization of it all, you've got all the apps you need on your phone. Your phone is high quality enough to do it. 10 years ago, we had to have a DSLR that didn't cut out every 10 minutes or whatever. And it was hard to find a HD camera that would continuously record. They were quite a lot more expensive. Then you needed to get all of that. You needed a microphone as well, because the microphone on the camera sucked. And ideally, you'd have somebody who could record all of that for you. You needed to edit all of that in your chosen platform, whether it was iMovie or Premiere. I used to edit on Sony Vegas. I don't know if anyone remembers Sony Vegas.
I do.
There you go. So Sony Vegas was my thing, and that was way before Dower. And then obviously,
Bro, I knew Sony Vegas in it must have been 2000 and the latest it could have been is 2008.
Oh yeah. It's still around. I thought it went down. Vegas Pro, it's called now. I could have swore it got shut down. Oh, well.
Bro, that was a long time ago.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, so now it's like, for example, what was I editing recently? I was trying to use this. I've got a Mac from 2013, so that's quite slow when it comes to trying to render stuff. And I was trying to edit a video for the family recently, and it was just so slow, taking forever. And then I had to do another video recently, and I thought, whoa, let me not do it on the Mac. Let me just try and use a bunch of different apps on the phone and see if I can just put it together. And actually, most of it was done on Instagram through their own editing, real software stuff that's on there. You can caption on there, you can cut and paste on there, you can do voiceovers on there. And that's available for everyone. So, and especially kids these days, they're going to be tech savvy with that stuff, because they grew up part and parcel with it. So
I can't be bothered for that stuff.
Yeah, well,
when I see, like, I know what you're talking about. When I see these personal trainers and their videos and how many they put out, I'm like, no, I can't be bothered. That's not a way to run a business for me. Like, that's the long way. That's the hard way.
Really? That works? It looks like it works, bro.
Yeah, but it's definitely the hard way. It's definitely the hard way.
I don't know. I think,
like, I'll tell you when I would do that. I would only start doing that when I'm making so much money that I can outsource 90% of it, and the 10% that I do is just me being in front of the camera.
I think you underestimate how easy it is to do that, though. Like, now, just tripod, phone, B-roll, 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 and then what? You need to make a 30-second video. You could get your software to randomize that, slap a caption on it, or slap like an audio from a different video completely. Maybe one of Khabib talking with a nasheed in the background. Boom, you got banger content. 10, 20, 50K views.
But that takes a lot. That takes a lot of effort, especially when these people are uploading daily.
Oh, daily. Yeah, I guess so. But by that point, I think they're outsourcing it, and I don't think it'd be a lot. It costs them a lot.
But I'm just saying, business-wise, I think it's the wrong way around, personally.
I don't know. I feel like I was thinking about this today because I think about a lot of things throughout my day. Clearly, personal training, that fitness industry plus social media was like a match made in heaven, so to speak.
Yeah,
for that kind of business model, because
it's all visual.
Yeah, on a clean side, you get to see the body you want to have, etc. But on a more darker, sinister side, you've got women lusting over men, and you've got men lusting over women, right? And that's also attention. You've got a woman dressed in God knows what, doing squats, for example. It's going to attract all sorts of attention, so people are going to follow that. And
Gymshark.com.
Yeah. So one thing that, like, me and you and any practicing Muslim brother would aspire to do is that we don't follow women like that. We don't follow the opposite gender generally, right? But because of that, I forget that if I didn't have these rules to adhere to, you'd be following everyone under the sun, because that's what people do. When social media got as big as when it started, 2012 period is when I started trying to think, okay, who do I follow? Let me try and follow, minimize any females, etc. Do you get me? Trying to segregate my social media to the point now Facebook only recommends males for me. Don't know how the algorithm figured that out, but that's the way it goes, right? But you forget, actually, the rest of the world, they don't have those rules and regs. And well, a lot of their triggers, a lot of their click rate is going to be, I don't know, the attraction to the opposite gender and that kind of stuff, whether it's models, fitness industry,
Well,
etc.
it's driven by the core animalistic desires. That's the deepest desires. And so, yeah. But I'll give you a little, because we have to mention AI every episode, right? So,
oh, yeah. Go on. Please do.
You know, Facebook, Instagram, they actually have, whatever it is, a model they have a way of identifying what's in a photo. I remember this was probably 3-4 years ago. I found a way to determine to see what Facebook thinks is in a photo. So you take a photo, you put it into a thing, and you can find out that it's saying that this is a man holding a phone in a forest.
Right.
That kind of level of detail. So it would understand it and write it in a few words, brief words. Yeah. So I think by now they can work out, okay, this video contains a man or a woman or this or that. And so obviously it's tuning your feed to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like unprecedented amounts of information now can be gathered from and produced as well.
Hence my prediction.
Yeah. No doubt.
My prediction that Facebook is going to do something in AI, something big.
Everybody is, though. It's the next arms race. Everybody is.
Elon Musk, but Facebook's like going to succeed. I'm saying.
Google's coming up. Everybody's trying to get involved. I think ChatGPT just got integrated with Slack today or this week or something like that. Not sure what the details are. I follow a page on Twitter now called The Rundown, and they give you like all the hot AI things that are happening.
It's really interesting. Wait, have you for your preparation for your boot camp or in the boot camp, are you going to be learning Python?
Oh God, I can't remember.
Okay, you don't know yet.
I can't tell off the top of my head. I know Java, HTML, CSS, that kind of stuff. I can't remember if Python was on there. I feel like it might be eventually, but yeah, I can't tell from the top of my head. Oh my God, there's so much, bro. There's so much stuff that is being used with the A and the I's. Yeah. There was one I saw yesterday, AI generated models. So it's in the early stages where they will essentially generate people that don't exist to model things. Now what they're working on is trying to integrate that with custom clothing. So you would theoretically upload a mock-up of a t-shirt. Now I know that kind of exists already, but that exists with real people, doesn't it? So you'll have a person who has a PNG image of a blank t-shirt and then you superimpose your t-shirt on. That exists. But this is about actual model. The model himself is being completely generated in a way that you want, in an environment that you want. Cut out the middlemen. Middlemen. I say middlemen. I was working the other day. Somebody said middlemen in the office, and someone screamed from the other side of the office, "It's middle person."
Really? Yeah, like that level.
Yeah, and I was just sat there
Shut up.
I sat there like, oh. And there was another one today, actually. Somebody said, victim of, I can't remember what it was, victim of crime or victim of something. Somebody stopped them and said, oh, we don't like using that word here. We like to say survivor of crime. And I was just like, what's going on? Sitting there like, what's going on? Every day walking on eggshells.
Yeah, man.
I just stay quiet.
I mean, you're reporting live from the frontier of the changes happening.
Bro, the way you said that, yeah, bro. Oh, it's a whole new world. No, yeah, it's insane. I try and stay as quiet as possible. It's good for me, actually. Teaches me a bit of teaches me to just speak when I need to speak.
Yeah, that's
instead
good.
Of blabbing on. That's why I let it all out on Mind Heist. Right?
Yeah. This is the place for that. That's crazy. Well, someone said it's not a woman; it is a person that gives birth or something.
Yeah, it's a birth. It's a what was it? A birthing person. Birthing person. Yeah.
But you know what's good about these? Annie, on the positive side of these Instagram, these real kind of people, reels. The fact that they're making this entertainment / day in my life kind of thing, at least most of them, what I've seen, they're not going around telling people like what to do. You know, like you get people saying, I don't know, they make a video and it's like a da'wah video and they're like, this is haram or this is halal or don't do this, don't do this, without knowledge. These people don't tend to do that, do they? They just want validation for how they look and then slap a hadith on top, you know. They're happy with that.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I guess that's the positive side.
What it is done, what we've focused maybe a little bit too much on the negatives up until now, but some of the positives is that it has popularized an Islamic identity among young people, among content consumers, right? One thing I was observing the other day was that it kind of looked to me, I went to Jumu'ah and I was just looking at the youngsters, right? And looking at that kind of demographic. And I was like, do you know what? Today, it's kind of cool to be Muslim, right? It's cool to be Muslim. Back 10, 15 years ago, especially around 9/11 and that kind of, it was very, I don't know, frowned upon, and people like, you know, you felt a certain type of way trying to be. It was very gharib, you know. Ghuraba for real. That was a nasheed on everyone's playlist. Ghuraba, right? Yeah. And it was kind of, I don't know, looked, you know, people looked at you with animosity and this kind of thing. But now there is a sense of pride and a sense of, especially with the youngsters.
Bro, do your Habib impersonation.
Oh, I can't do that. You're the impersonator. Your Donald Trump one is a phenomenal.
Yeah, but your Habib is your one, the one you do.
I can't do it now. You put me on the spot.
What is it that he even says? What's that thing?
I don't know. What did he say? He goes, I'm not gonna do it, bro.
I nearly got you to do it.
Nearly got you. I'm doing it, bro. What am I, a circus clown? No. No, but yeah, he's, you know, that's one example actually. The Habibification of Muslim men all around the world. Yeah, and then other factors as well, you know, can't leave out people like Andrew Tate becoming Muslim. Other people became Muslim. A lot of rich and influential people interested and socializing with Muslims, some of them becoming Muslims, you know. For sure. It isn't just the misfits that become Muslims.
If you could do an Andrew Tate impersonation, I always rate you to the fullest. That's very difficult. Done it before.
See, one thing I wanted to clarify, is that we did... the first time we spoke about him was like before he was Muslim. So I was like, obviously, and maybe rightfully so, ripping into that kind of stuff. But then not long after that, literally a mere weeks after that, he became Muslim. So I just stayed quiet now because that's reality. It's nothing to, you know, just pray for his health and pray for his guidance because he's a Muslim brother, right? So that's my position on it. I don't really care what anyone thinks about that.
I have a topic.
Yeah, at this late in the evening.
This late.
Go on then.
Do you know what a Rosca is?
A what?
A Rosca.
No.
You wouldn't.
Why? Is it?
Don't search it.
Oh, you can tell when I'm about to.
Of course.
Go on then.
Because people will know it by other words, like other names. So like in Arabic it's called Jam'iyya.
Oh.
I think Pakistanis call it committee.
Is it a committee by any chance?
It's basically Rosca stands for like Rotating Saving and Credit Association or something.
Is this the money thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this.
I told you about it before, or we spoke about it before, like over a year ago probably.
Yeah.
But I've just come back to it recently because it's so sick, bro.
You want to make a Rosca with me?
I want to make a Rosca with a lot of people.
You just want money, bro. That's what you want. You want someone to lend you a small loan of $1 million, bro.
No, you know what it is? Like, it's not even used for that much money usually. It's usually used like, let's say you want a cheap car, you know, £3,000, £4,000. Yeah. That's what it's used for, right? But I feel like it's so powerful and at scale. If we were to use like software and stuff, we could actually do what you couldn't do. You know what? Let me explain what it is first. So it's basically you have like a group of, let's say 10, 20 people. Everyone puts in, let's say it's 10 people for easy maths. Everyone puts £100 a month in. and you get £1,000. So that means every month, someone of those 10 will get £1,000. They only put 100 in, but they get £1,000, and then they're going to pay in £100 a month until all 10 of those have got the £1,000 out. So the idea is, it's like buy now, pay later kind of thing, where you're only putting 100 a month, but on one of those months, you're going to get the lump sum, which then allows you to buy something like a car or whatever sooner than if you just saved up by yourself. And it's also a mechanism for saving. So some people can't control their spending. So if they're committing to paying into this, that's money they're not spending. They can't spend it because they have to give it in. So it's basically a very powerful way of getting loans without interest, but also giving benefit to others. Because the problem with loans is people don't want to give loans because there's a risk to them that they won't get it back, and they don't really benefit. Now, of course, in Islam, we have like the qard hasana, which is like you get a lot of reward for loaning out money. But for those who don't know about that, or maybe they're not that motivated by reward or whatever it is, they're not Muslim or whatever, this association kind of solves that incentive problem where people are incentivized to loan out money. So I just think it's overlooked, and I came across someone who's building software actually for this, but it's they're non-Muslims, Yani, to be honest, which is, as long as we benefit from it, it's not a problem, Yani. But
yeah,
it was based in the UK, and I think it's going to integrate with the banking system and everything. But the way they're doing it is like it's an app for you guys. You have to find your people, and then you make your thing, and you organize it through the app. But what if it was a platform where we've got 1 million people on it, and we've kind of done credit checks or whatever you want to call it on these people, and we're also somehow, we have to work out a halal way for the organization to make money, so that if anyone doesn't pay, we can cover that, and then we could do this big roska at scale, and then people can start actually getting like buying real houses with 0% mortgages, 0% any haramness in it. Because this is the big thing, bro, like buying property or buying a car, or people sometimes really struggling with this. I mean, especially houses now, that's a very big deal. But some people, they just need a laptop for work, or they just need a car or whatever, you know. Some people having a baby, and a pram costs like what, £300, right? So this is it could be really groundbreaking, Yani.
I remember hearing about it years ago because there was particular communities using it to fund their kids' university fees to avoid taking the loans out. Especially when it was cheaper. The only downside, I suppose, is you'd need a HR representative with that many people, because what happens when people start backing out and not paying and missing payments, but they're the next one to receive it, or how does the person feel who's the last on the list? He might as well just save on his own then.
Well, that's why I thought about that, and I don't have any experience in doing this. A lot of people do have experience with it, but the guy at the end, usually it's like it's like cycles, right? So there's 10 people, that means in 10 months everyone will be done, and whoever's at the end, they might get it the first when they start again, or something like that.
Shuffle it.
Sometimes it's by need as well. It's like I'm paying into it now, not knowing exactly what I need the money for, but it's just a good idea to be in there. So then I would voluntarily say, I don't need it this month, like give it to the next guy, based on need, based on pulling straws or whatever, different ways that people allocate it.
Should we do a Rosca, me and you? 1 month you, 1 month me. Yeah, let's do it.
If you want, bro.
Start the Mind Heist Rosca.
I mean, I've been thinking about it and talking to some people, and the thing is, like, when you start needing that house kind of money, right, you need either a lot of people, and that's very difficult to do just with people I know, or you need people who can put in a lot of money every month. And again, those people are not very not many of them, etc., not that accessible sometimes. And I found, like, I've been watching a few of Islamic finance gurus' videos. They're doing a good job with their videos. I like the videos, good videos. And
I agree.
Good content.
It's valuable. It's valuable stuff.
And it's unique, and it's slick, and it's basic as well, but it's good, Yani.
No, it's good. It's needed as well.
So he was talking a video. What's his name? Ibrahim, I think. the founder, well, the co-founder, he was talking about how he bought a house. He's like, how I got a house by age 28 or something. And he got a mortgage. He's like, I got Islamic mortgage. Bro, whenever I look into these things, like whether it's the stocks and the Wahid invest or the halal mortgages, I always find a little thing that I just can't get past.
Yeah.
So it's like there are a lot of people though, like this guy Ibrahim, who's like, I'm convinced with this halal mortgage thing. Like I think it really is halal, and therefore someone like him, he wouldn't want to be involved in a Rosca because he's actually got a bank to get a mortgage off. So this is the thing as well. Yeah,
there's a lot, isn't there? I mean, but it depends how deep down the rabbit hole you want to go. Like you got brothers like, for example, Muawiyah Tucker. I don't know if you come across him. He is literally Bitcoin's biggest fan in the Muslim community, and he swears that the riba is innate within the monetary system we have at the moment. So you can't get away from it, even if you were to live on the mountain and getting paid to herd sheep. That money is still tainted with riba, right? So he's saying that the Bitcoin system, for example, will free people from that, and his biggest aim is to try and live off Bitcoin. I remember a tweet he put up recently, is to live off of it completely as much as he possibly can.
You mean by trading it?
No, to actually use it for purchases.
And spend with it. Okay.
Spend with it, right? So buying food with it if you can, and this and that with it. That kind of thing. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like you can go as far down the rabbit hole as you want to, really, as much as you can, which is commendable. I must say, it's commendable, and probably the further down the rabbit hole you go, the more barakah you probably find, right? Because you're trying to get rid of all of that haram as much as possible. So likewise, there's going to be different levels to people's comfortability, whatever.
Here, I like, honestly, remember when we had Omar Suleiman on the podcast, and he's from Wahid, and he was talking about I just went to the Wahid website. Obviously, they've got Habib as the ambassador, and it's got his photo and it says, "Join the fight against riba." I think he was giving a talk, or he was on the podcast, the Wahid podcast. With that bit where he says, "I'm gonna smash your boy." Yeah,
I'm gonna smash your.
So boy. He said, "I'm gonna smash riba" or something like that. Anyway, I like their whole slogan, or the whole thing where they're like, we want to actually smash riba, we want to avoid riba. That's why we've got halal investing, we're going to come out with this bank account that doesn't invest your money in haram stuff. That's quite cool, and I feel like Wahid is the perfect people to do this platform, the whole Rosca platform.
I mean, look, they're doing very well, and I'm sure they'll expand, won't they? I'm sure all
Inshallah.
these initiatives, like as long as the world continues. Think back 10, 15 years ago, we didn't have a lot of the things we have today, and I think we're really catching up and embracing the cutting edge of what's available. The fact that, not to bring it to AI again, but AI is where it is, and then straight away we've got apps like Tartil, for example, using AI technology to improve Quran recitation, memorization, that kind of thing, and then the continuous expansion of that. We're going to have all sorts. So I think, it's a brilliant time for the innovative minds in the Muslim scene to put their heads together and try and crack some of these problems that we have, right? And I'm sure crypto's had its crazy events and ups and downs and God knows whatever. But with time, I think that will stabilize, and actually the real use cases will establish themselves somewhere down the line. It won't be just a get rich quick kind of thing, which every new thing tends to be how can I quickly make money out of this? Well,
some people are saying crypto might be banned as well.
I haven't been following it, so wouldn't surprise me, but there's always something to ban, isn't there?
I mean, there's some talk basically about governments creating their own cryptocurrencies and then banning the other ones, and then
Although I don't think they'll. Anyway, not that I'm an expert, but they're banning something doesn't necessarily make it go away.
It won't make it go away. It'll just stop it from ever having that mainstream potential, maybe.
It'd be like, hey, do you want to sell stuff on the dark web with my dark coins?
Well, right now, like all these exchanges, give me a name of one of them. I can't remember any. Coinbase,
Yeah.
for example. In the end, when you register for Coinbase, they ask for your ID and it's like fully on
They're a
board.
bank. They're
Yeah.
banking.
So if they're based in the US, maybe, right? So if the US government just says, yeah, it's not allowed anymore, then it's not allowed. Like, it's that simple.
That's what they say. It's like not your keys, not your coin, right? So these are brokerages or whatever you want to call them. Your money is with them. No, not unlike a bank. And the whole point of crypto is to decentralize that. As long as you've
Yeah.
got your keys, that's yours, and it's stored on the blockchain. Look at me trying to throw out the keywords like I know what I'm talking about. It's been a while. I haven't been involved in that stuff in a few years now. But every day, new question. I had someone message in our group chat today saying, "Can someone point me in the right direction? Who can advise me on crypto trading?" A Muslim brother is asking, and I'm like, man, there's still people asking these questions. They want to get involved. The ship has not sailed for some.
Yeah. The price is still low, right, of Bitcoin?
Lord knows.
I think it is.
Personally, like I said before, the use cases interest me way more than the get rich quick investment side of things. You know, I'd rather it was just 1-to-1 with the dollar or 1-to-1 with the pound or whatever, and it was actually just used as a currency, as opposed to, oh my god, if I buy 10 now, it'll be 200 later. Like, and then it's not being used. It's just people hoarding it.
I know the price is still low because a couple of people I know that are into it are like quiet.
Yeah, crikey. May Allah bless us and protect us.
I mean,
and guide us to make good financial decisions. We can't mess about this day and age, bro. We've got kids, we've got family, we've got responsibilities.
I think money, bro, money is a very big deal. A bigger deal than we give credit for or give its level to, give it value to, than we do like in the mainstream, like practicing Muslim sphere. People are put in very difficult situations because of lack of money. And it's a duty to work, to do what we can to avoid being in those situations.
No, 100%.
Like I was talking to someone last week, and it's like, talk about like long-term plans and this and that. And he's like, if you die today, like, where's your wife and kids gonna live?
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, well, if you had a house, okay, that's one thing. But if you had 2 houses, that's sorted because you live in one and rent the other and then live off that.
Yeah.
And 2 houses, it might seem, especially in the UK, like an enormous mountain. But 2 houses would secure you, Yani. And obviously, Yani, Allah will give or not give. But to have some sort of plan, some sort of idea of like, okay, so if I do that, then that's actually a very good level, Yani. And to even think of it like that, and to see like, this is part of my amana, or this is part of my, or even like, even for business, I was thinking like, our business, if our business is truly helping people, we need it to be around forever.
Yeah.
Not literally forever, but you get the point. So maybe we need to, what if we all die, Yani, the founders who are like pushing things forward? Yani, we would ideally need the business to be able to keep making enough money to pay the salary of a top-notch manager guy who will run it after us. Or maybe we should like invest in a waqf kind of system. So it's like we buy an apartment from the business, and then that would at least cover the cost of a manager. These are things, ideally you want to think about. This is the long-term thing. Why build something now and then you just die and it's gone? Like, assuming there's khair in it, Yani. Or even for your family, talk about intergenerational wealth. There's negatives of your kids growing up with everything. But if at least your wife and kids, or maybe your grandkids, if they knew there's like at least some apartment somewhere for some stability, and of just a place to live, that's good.
The thing is, there's a difference between kids growing up with everything and kids growing up adopting a responsibility for that which they will take over when
Well,
they're
that's
older.
as well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
like
the thing
you,
as
for
well.
example, bring your son to work day, and you're just bringing him to work. This is what we do. This is what you might want to do someday. This is what you want to take over.
It's how you
Before
ring
you
the
know
cash
it,
register. Yeah.
yeah. Before you know it, you blink and he'll be 18, akhi, and he'll be capable, even younger than that.
Yeah.
And actually, he might be interested in doing that. So yeah,
Actually,
100%.
there's a good podcast. I think it was Musa. Musa was hosting the Ayera podcast at one point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was the episode Musa interviewing Mufti Menk.
Okay.
And I believe it was this episode, and Mufti Menk was talking about how his family, half of them do business and half of them do da'wah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the business is like fund the da'wah side, and like this is the importance of money, bro, and like doing things properly, at least doing your best to put it in place, and then being able to say to Allah, look, I thought of the sickest strategy and I've done my best on that side. Now, whatever's best for me, ya Allah, give me the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. And it's different. Like we said, yeah, different to not getting your child involved and then just handing them a I mean, that's actually the downside of property, just handing over a child property as opposed to a business. Business requires a lot more effort to run and maintain and improve and build upon. A property largely remains the same, and it just collects rent afterwards. You know, the incentive to improve needs to come out of the individual more so than any training that would have been instilled in that child from the parent, right? With you showing them the business and how to run the business, and this is how it runs, and it only runs as good as you make it run. It's different to here's a building, just stick someone in there, collect rent, right? And that can make
it depends how long you're around to show them the ropes, isn't it? Because if you, inshallah, we're around to raise our kids to that age of adulthood, that is enough time to not just teach them the ropes of a business, but even let's say we're just handing them a property. It's like, have we raised them to value money and value hard work, so that even if they have two properties, they're still going to go to work and make stuff happen. You know.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this and your parents or your father or whoever has a business and it is on the cards one day, but you haven't really taken the opportunity to show an interest or learn, then I really strongly advise you to do so, because it doesn't have to be your life. That could just be your plan B or your side hustle or whatever you want to call it, that you want to take over and take ownership of. You know, one of my one challenge I have is that I never really did that with my father, like that what he has in Tunisia. The year that we spoke about it seriously, like I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break from the United Kingdom. I think I'm going to come to Tunisia. I want to learn while you're still around. And then, sadly, he came to the UK and was diagnosed with cancer. So I never got the opportunity to fully immerse myself. So now I'm trying to play catch up with the notes that he's left behind. And he left notes and he left voice. I haven't listened to the voice notes, as you can imagine. It's very difficult to do that. But he left because he didn't have the energy to write and stuff. He left loads and loads of voice notes. My mum says like really long voice notes of lots of detailed stuff. I can't bring myself to listen to them. So I'm, we're trying to do the best we can. And alhamdulillah, my mum's out there now. She's doing quite well. But, I want to be there. I want to fulfill that legacy, right? So, if you are able to learn, retire your parents.
Yeah, that's another one, bro, as well. Retiring your parents. Some people, 100%. Their parents, are 70 and still working because they have to. I think I spent too much time in my adulthood just trying to make money for me, and I'm just talking about like survival money. Like, how can I make 2 pennies, right?
Yeah.
I was spent so long in that mindset that when I did start to make a living, I didn't automatically go like, oh, my parents or my this and that, because I was still in that mindset of like, oh, I need money. So I need to transition now to like, I got this.
I got this. Step back.
Hashtag I got this. I got this mode.
Bro,
good. Muhammad, my business partner, he went to the US, I don't know, 6 months ago. He he went somewhere south-ish. I can't remember, bro. But anyway, he's like, we went to rent a car and it was all messed up, and then we didn't get the car, and we're like, damn, we need this car, and it was messing things up. And he just came from like New York or something where people just like cold and they're just like out for their own benefit. Yeah. But this was like a more of a smaller kind of place. So this lady at the car rental place, she just like said to him something like, what's wrong, honey? And then he explained or something, and then she's like, I got you, baby. He's like, I'll take care of you, baby. He's like, it was exactly like a movie.
Overly familiar. Yeah.
He's like, it was that mama kind of energy, that like, just give me a hug. Let me get through this.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
Oh, no, man. Well, here we are. Mind Heist episode 190. I want to say 192. Are we?
Yeah, I don't know, 1 or 2. Yeah,
something like that.
Beautiful. Yeah, this flickering light is annoying me. I need to sort this whole recording over here thing out.
It's your office now. You sort it out.
Yes,
sir.
I would recommend it for anyone working from home, especially if you're married. Even if you don't have kids but you're just married, I would recommend it highly. And then even if you're just like living with your parents and stuff and you're not married, I think it's good to get out every day, have somewhere to go, and change your environment and all of that. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what the prices are like. Do you have a co-working space around you? Are you aware of any? You are, you have, yeah? So what's the kind of prices like?
They're quite pricey. I looked up the other day. I think it was $250 a month.
For a desk?
I don't know. I just remember seeing that price thrown out there. And I was like, okay, cool. That'd be cool to share the cost if I had to. I've been to one before. I remember when my dad was ill and we were doing some paperwork to try and send to Tunisia. We went and visited a lawyer or a solicitor or something, and they were working in a co-working space. They had a little section with their plaque, this co-working space. But it was really fancy, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fancy. I want to be part of this.
Where you work?
Well, I think it was something beginning with an R.
Oh, yeah. That's like the bigger than WeWork and older than WeWork. But I forget the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Regis.
Regis, that's it, yes.
Yeah, Regis.
Yes.
2.22.
They're in Tunisia, yeah?
Revenue. No, it wasn't in Tunisia. It was here in the UK. I had to do it before.
I got you. So there's Regis where you're from. Cool.
Yeah.
You see, I've got people walking behind me as we're recording.
They can be in the podcast.
Even at this time of night, yeah?
That's it.
Do your
hustling,
thing.
Bro. Hustle culture.
Hustle culture. Bro,
absolutely.
In Turkey, people don't open. Nothing opens before 9 a.m.
That's it. You're going to be the difference. You're going to be the Turkish billionaire.
Yeah, while they're sleeping, we working.
We're working, baby.
What was that thing? I'm going to make it. Watch me.
Just watch.
Just watch. This is my year.
This is it. Oh, content. So much content. How many hours you spent scrolling? You could have actually done something productive. It's a trap. All that productivity content is a trap because you spend so much time watching it. You end up not actually doing anything. Yeah,
it's like the books. The productivity or non-fiction books.
Yeah.
People just read and next one, read, do nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just transferred to videos, you know.
My self-help phase is completely over.
Bro, I saw that Ryan Holiday has another book out now, yeah? I think it's called Discipline. It's about discipline.
I've got it on here, actually. I had like a credit and I had it pre-ordered, but I never got around to listening to it. It's sitting on my Audible.
This guy's a machine with books.
Yeah, do you know what? I get it. You know, I listen to it. I'm like, yeah, sweet. That's really cool. That's really motivating. That's what it is. It's motivating. And then before you know it, I'm just trying to get up and do stuff, man. And I've learned a little bit a day goes a long way. Little increments. And if I fall off the wagon, just to get back on without guilt tripping myself. and I just keep moving forward. And there's little hacks that you can do to do that. There's little applications that you can do to build daily habits. I've got a daily Quranly thing that I use, obviously Quranly, but then I've also got
Yeah.
a coding one called Mimo, and that's a gamification of daily
Oh.
coding learning, and it's brilliant. It's
Oh.
absolutely brilliant. It's I think in that level of Quranly, that kind of gamification. But
Okay.
like you've got the app there, and then you've got, you know, this is how I've done so far, and then when you do a lesson, you just go through, and it's so like intuitive. Okay, this is what it wants you to do. There's the code. Fill in the blank, and then you keep going, and then it ticks you if you've done it right, and you can try again if you've done it wrong. And it incentivizes you to build a daily streak and compete with your friends. So my wife's competing with me, and blah blah blah.
So you code on your phone?
That just supplements what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but that's how I know you're younger than me, because I'm not into that stuff. I don't like using my. I always generally find it easier to do stuff on computer than phone.
I am saying
like
that
editing videos, for example.
Yeah, I do it on the laptop and I do it on the desktop, but what I'm saying is like that will supplement my learning. So a lot of it's like fill in the blanks or code this quickly.
Easier version.
It's really intuitive because you don't actually have to type a lot of the time. A lot of the things that you're going to have to use are already there. So a lot of the tags and the code, the whatever words, I'm not at that level yet when I'm going to speak about it, are already there. So you can write, instead of writing HTML, you could write H, and then the auto predict will come up with HTML or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you just tap the one you want. It's really quick.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And then when I'm on the bus, I can do that, or when I'm walking to work, I can do that really quickly. Boom, got that down. It just feels like I'm progressing ever so slowly. And there's going to be stuff like that for everything. So, bro, take advantage of the tools.
This guy Ryan Holiday is a machine, bro. Look, 2022, he put out 2 kids' books. He also put out Discipline is Destiny. 2021. Put out Courage is Calling. 2020, he put out Lives of the Stoics. 2019, he's doing a book a year for 5 years now. No, more than 5 years.
He monetized Stoicism. That's what he's done.
Yeah, I think like 5-6 years in a row, he's put out a book a year. Machine.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I mean, what was the last one I listened to? Courage is Calling.
Yeah.
I listened to that.
I don't find his books too practical. Yeah.
Thing is, I've just kind of, I've shifted away from that a bit, and I'm trying to just re-solidify my Islamic knowledge.
Islamic.
It's all there.
You mix with a lot of non-Muslims, yeah.
Yeah. Do you say Islamic knowledge?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Bro, you know his best book, which Yani is very different from his other books, which I love this book. Conspiracy. Peter Thiel, Hulk Hogan, Gorka, and the Anatomy of Intrigue.
Oh, I've saw the page of that and I was like, this looks very different to everything else he's done.
It is sick.
I saw him on Joe Rogan, and when I saw that interview on Joe Rogan, I honestly felt like he wasn't as legit as I thought he was.
Okay.
So when someone writes a book is prepared, researched, everything is delivered sweet. Like this guy's a genius. Like, look at the content. But when they're live and the mic's in their face and they're asked the questions, then you start seeing how, what's the word? Fallible, I suppose they are.
Okay. Unless there's someone like whoever, Jordan Peterson, who's actually sick at talking.
Yeah. So I felt like, from memory, I remember he was talking and then Joe Rogan would say something and he would quickly kind of change his tone to match Joe's tone. There wasn't much like, no, I'm going to stand by my point and this is what I mean.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It was more like okay. But yeah, well, if you say that, then yeah, actually, blah, 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 blah. You know, it was very amicable, agreeable. He was very agreeable, and it was like...
So not that opinionated, not like making a stand, yeah.
Yeah, no strong opinion or strong sort of... So I was a bit like, put off, and I could be wrong, but that was a vibe. It was a while ago. So if anyone ever listens to that, I was a bit like, oh. And that's a danger, I think, of self-help stuff, because the person writing it and producing it, you then assume this guy's got it all together. Like, sweet, I want to, it must be, taking his own medicine sort of thing. But then, I don't know, that little bit. But as with anything, they come and they're effective when you need them the most. And when they're not effective, it's probably because you weren't receptive to that at the time. And you didn't need to hear that at the time.
Yeah.
So...
Bro, the best reading is reading just-in-time reading. Like my son, his behavior has changed slightly.
Oh, yeah? Please do tell.
So now I'm like listening to a parenting book, for example.
Oh, it has happened, has it? Has it?
No, not significantly, but... Not significantly, but it's just like...
Oh, well done. You built a castle. Great.
No, you can't say great. You have to say, you built a castle.
No, but I'm saying this is the new you. The new you adds words like well done and great.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Tut tut.
So the point is that now when I'm listening to this book, I'm listening like, okay, yeah, I get that. Okay, let me try that. Okay, it's like right now, yani, relevant right now.
Mm-hmm. You're in a world of hurt, bro. You just wait. It's all going to transform. Having 3 kids in the house under 5 is just... It's chaos. Why do you think I've been going to the office all the time?
Yeah, under 5, yes. Rated.
And I've been actively trying to sponsor my wife to go out and do stuff, right? For her own mental health, because I don't know how she does it. It's incredible. It's it's
yeah, bro.
So if she can get out of the house at all, then we'd have a meltdown. Because I'm not saying they're tough.
But this is what I find. Yeah, you probably know it's still the same. Maybe mothers, if you don't kick them to take care of themselves, they won't do it because they just want to take care of the kids. Like no matter how hard it is. They want to still stay with the kids, and it's like no.
Even if they actively try to take care of themselves, and they say that they're going to, they say they want to, like put themselves first,
and then they don't.
They can't help it. They can't help it because they love.
So that's where we have to force them. That's why I use the word kick. Yeah,
that's a danger. That's a topic for another day because low on time and stuff. But those hot takes, bad takes from some guys out there, that. A woman does X and that's it. I'm never going to help her with this. I'm never going to help her with that. If she expects me to help her with the kid, then I expect her to pay the bills and blah, 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 blah. 40-hour work week is not the same as a 24/7 mother. Let's be real.
It really is.
It isn't. It isn't because when, I've got to sleep because I've got work in the morning. Well, she's up at night with the baby. And she's up in the morning with the baby, and she's up and cooking dinner and this.
Coming next episode then. Next episode can be that, but it's also next episode is the last episode before Ramadan. So keep it in mind. Okay, bro, let's wrap it up then. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik shadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. See you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.